just sent me a text.
Addie McAllister?
What should I say? Just play it cool.
Welcome to the world inside your phone, where everyone is expected to act one way their whole life.
Aw, snap! Ow.
My name is Gene, and I'm supposed to be a meh. You know, like, meh, who cares? But my problem is, I have more than one emotion.
Check this out.
Huh?
Son, please tell me you weren't laughing just now. What if you get sent out on the phone making the wrong face?
Dad, I'll make the right face. Then I would finally fit in.
Sweetie, you're so handsome when you make that face. I think he's ready, Mal.
Meh.
That's our user, Alex.
We have an incoming text. We are go for men.
Who, me?
What's he doing?
He's making the wrong face.
Huh?
What the heck?
Welcome to the Loser Lounge, where the emojis who never get used hang out.
What's up, high five?
I'm an emoji. I've got to have some sort of purpose here.
I'm gonna help you. We need to get off the phone and find the source code.
Then I can fit in.
Let's roll! Bye, Felicia.
First, we have to get through this firewall. What's Alex's girlfriend's name again?
It was Tina,
Access denied.
Karen, Sarah. I want to say Lupita, but that doesn't feel right now. I'm saying it out loud.
I think you're pretty cool just the way you are.
Nobody leaves the phone! Delete them!
My feelings are huge. Maybe I'm meant to have more than just one emotion. Where am I?
Candy Crush. Divine. Sweet. Tasty. Delicious.
Oh, never eating another piece of candy ever again.
High five, don't do it. Don't you do it. It's already been in there once.
Okay, son, what do we do after we go potty?
Should we wash our hands?
We're number 2.
Gene! Make some noise for Gene!
Make some noise for Gene! Gene, the actual Gene. I've decided to stop being in film and television. I only speak through puppets and emojis.
This was a big ask, but we wanted to make you comfortable, and we said, all right, if this is what it takes, let's get Gene here.
Gene is here. Say hi, Gene! Yeah! That is the only movement he can do. I promise you, in the film, there's much more movement than this. This is not the entire deal.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes is him discovering how to walk and be like move, and it's really moving.
He starts off as a crossing guard, and that's the only thing he can do.
Guys, one more time, make some noise for Gene. He's gonna be around after the show. Yes. Gene's gonna be hanging out after the show, guys. So everybody here, we can go take some pictures with him, and we'll have a photo to remember this moment
and
forever.
Say when you smile, say Gene. Gene. There it is. See, you tried it and it worked, right? I love it.
It's gonna work every time. Wave bye to Gene. We'll see him in a little bit. Gene, we'll see you in a minute.
Gene. Bye, Gene.
Gene. Hey, congrats on the movie, buddy. There we go. Nah, you got it.
That would be the best AOL build of all time. Is you just see a man break his legs inside of an Emoji Movie. They're like, oh my God.
Well, the brilliance of the emoji getup is that it's spherical, right? So it's maximum.
He'll just roll his way out to Madison Avenue, right? He's just rolling down 5th. Rolling with the homies.
Just rolling out.
Hi.
We're rooting for you, buddy.
Hi, guys.
All right. So, guys.
I like that link, buddy. Let's talk.
Let's talk about this movie. Congratulations. I got a chance to see it on Monday, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Here's to him for having great taste.
Woo!
I call for applause a lot. Be ready. Go ahead.
This crowd loves that.
They do.
But
excitable.
sincerely, it was really funny. There's a great message. There's a lot of like little jokes for the adults in there too. I think you guys like nailed that summer family comedy film. It's there. Congratulations.
Thanks to these two.
Exactly.
These guys.
All your training has led to this moment. All right, this is perfect. So. Yeah, and I mean that. So I wanted to start, I want to get into the movie, but first, how are you guys doing? This is a big event. How's the press going? How are you holding up?
I was really interested in, you said this is sort of the most press you've done, which I would almost agree with. This might be the most. But how have you found it? I mean, talking about the movie over and over.
Yeah,
and,
same thing over. We're gonna do it again right here. But
Yeah,
before
it's
we do
happening
it,
again.
before we do it, I want to talk about talking about this film.
Everything's been AOL building to this moment. Go ahead.
It's been fun. You don't even feel, it feels like we're, just on this journey. It's going to be coming out. It's already July 28th, and it feels like yesterday when the film just began.
Right.
So it's been so amazing, to come full circle and now to be connecting, with the fans. And I have loved emojis, but now I'm using them more than I thought I probably would have ever used them. It's great.
Really weird. Have you guys been doing that?
Oh my gosh, all I do is emojis
Can't
now.
stop.
Yeah, I can't imagine using them less after this.
Yeah, right.
It's just part of your vernacular.
Yeah, it's
Well,
become-
it's a great opportunity, and correct me if I'm wrong, typically in animation you don't get to record with all of your cast. So
No.
this is usually like a great time to see all of those people. And
I know, it
connect
is
with them.
weird. With How to Train Your Dragon, I had never met anyone in the cast except for Jay Baruchel. And it was really weird. The premiere, I'm like, nice to meet you. We're in this movie together. It's okay. You got excited about How to Train Your Dragon. You're going to get even. You'll be dropping multiple cans when you see Emoji Movie. It's been fun to we hadn't met. He plays Alex, who's the real person in the movie, and I'm Gene, sort of the emoji. And yeah, we sort of met promoting a movie that we both star in. That's pretty weird.
That's pretty weird, right?
Yeah, but it's been really, really fun. And also, what's great is this masterful producer and the director, writer, creator, both of them, they're the dynamic duo. It's been really fun because they're friends. Like my wife, Kate, and I are friends with them. And so this has felt like a very collaborative thing.
Well, I wanted to start there because I know you guys are very collaborative. I know you're friends. Tony, Michelle, talk about coming up with the idea for this world and sort of where the impetus was. Why you decided this is the world we're going to build out and flesh out and create.
Well, I was trying to think of what I wanted to do next, and I was thinking, what are the toys of the world? What is it that is around us all the time, but we don't really know their story? And I looked at the phone and I saw that my mom sent me a bunch of emojis. And I thought, emojis, that's something that everyone knows about and a world that we could really play in. And then I brought it to Michelle, my beloved producer and friend, and I was thinking the emojis would come out into our world maybe and what that would be like. And Michelle was like, I'm interested in what's in the phone. And then my mind went, and then I was like, oh my God.
Well, and it's sort of when you guys were talking to me about it, it sort of writes itself. You realize you go into the wallpaper, you would enter different apps, and they would be their own worlds, and then satire soon follows when you're looking at Facebook and Spotify and Dropbox and all this stuff. And it is, when Kate and I watched it for the first time, we were anxious, we were excited. You do these animated films. This holds the record. I'd like a round of applause for this holding the record for the fastest produced animated film in the history. It ends up, the phone, and I love that because Kate turned to me as we're watching it and she said, this is really, really good. Kind of like what you did. You said at the beginning of the interview, I don't know if you guys noticed, he goes, so I watched the Emoji Movie. It's actually really good, which is basically him saying, I thought it would be a piece of shit. Sorry, a piece of Sir Patrick Stewart, Sir Pooptrick Stewart.
Yes.
Sir Patrick Pooptert. But she said, this is really good. And she said, parents use emojis with their kids, and kids use, and so it's cross-generational. And she goes, and it's a language, she texts her Japanese friend, Subi Watanabe, and they only use emojis. I've seen texts, and I'm like, what kind of strange code is this? What hieroglyphics are you sending each other? But they'll ask each other to go to yogurt and go to yoga and other things that start with Y.
A lot of emojis with that sound, those vowels together.
Exactly, but they're just using emojis. And so she said it was this, this great thing that everyone can relate to. And then I also feel like, and I didn't expect this, but as you watch the movie within minutes, you realize that you're in on the joke. You already know all the characters. When you see the next character, you're going, well, what is this? What's this emoji's joke going to be? Or what's this emoji's personality? But you know everybody. So it's this great thing where there are very few movies where from the get-go, you sort of feel like, I'm in on this. I know what's going on. It's like the Entourage movie, but it's good.
That's actually my second comp. No.
It's just like, Michelle's like, it's just like the Entourage movie.
It is the Entourage. That's a lot of the fun of the movie, though, is there were audible gasps within the theater, like, oh, I know that person, I know that emoji or that app, and like excitement about what's going to happen. And you're right, it does kind of all click and make sense and come together. I'm also really excited, Tony, that you described your reaction as, because we're going to transcribe this in emojis exclusively.
Excellent.
And so that, no, I'm kidding.
You can use the wind.
You were really.
You can use the wind emoji.
That's right.
I've started using emojis nonsensically. I use them so much that people, like, I'll have a buddy who'll be like, you want to see a movie? And I'll just send the emoji of the guy going. Or I'll send a desk lamp or index cards, and they're like, what is this? My mother's like, have time to talk today? And it's just like the sign for a playing card of the hearts, She's like, what?
All
She ever
emoji just
interpret
serve
that?
to
Well, I
get-
guess his heart is being played today.
Yeah,
In fact,
exactly.
52 cards in a deck, so that just like goes deeper.
It goes deeper and deeper and deeper. But yeah, I've been having fun with that. The eggplant emoji, until I did... Hold on. So the eggplant emoji, up until this film, I did not know that had an alternate meaning from eggplant, which is a strange thing because I wondered why every time I asked if my wife wanted eggplant for dinner, we ended up doing the deed. No, but it's, I didn't know that was what an eggplant meant until, and I go, you should use is a really funny one is the eggplant emoji, and the two of them went, no, we can't use that. And I was like, why not? Everybody loves eggplant. And they said, no, it's slang for the right.
My wife loves eggplant.
That was my joke in Deadpool 2 was that I thought that this was the emoji for chocolate yogurt.
Yeah.
And that had gotten me in a lot of trouble. So I was asking girls if they wanted to go out and have a Sir Patrick Stewart.
I want to delve into this side of the conversation for a second because I read something somewhere earlier on where you were saying this is one of your more challenging roles because you're stripped of your physicality, you're not able to curse or do anything like that, and you've really got to dig into this character. Was it that challenge that brought you into this movie?
No, it was so they called me and said, we'd like to meet with you and sort of talk to you about this animated film that we're doing that we think, and you've been very, very complimentary and flattering, saying that you had me in mind for it when you wrote it. But I went they called me and said they're doing this movie about emojis called the Emoji Movie. And I was like, why? And they said, they said, well, they're doing it and they're thinking of you for the lead. And I said, well, how? What? What do you mean? And they said, will you meet on it? And I said, yeah, of course. I would love to see how in the heck they're going to make a movie out of emojis. And I got in there, and you guys started talking, and Tony was so passionate about it, and he had built out this world. And suddenly within 10 minutes, I was like, well, yeah, if you're going to make a movie about emojis, this is the best damn approach that you could take. And then they said, we've got to get it done in, much less time than animated. And I said, well, that seems like a challenge. I think you guys were like, we've already started production. We need to talk to you about this. And it really, it was so interesting and so dynamic. And I like working within a 4-quadrant sphere. I like doing children's comedy. It's a challenge. It's easy to kind of go on Silicon Valley and be like, I sleep dick up. That's... People, but this is a much more challenging thing, and it's also it's a new property. I mean, how many films are original right now?
Yeah.
We're so inundated with franchises, which is fine. That's great. We know what we're getting. We're excited for Deadpool 2 and what's going to happen. And Spider-Man's younger now, and what's he going to go through? And Fantastic Four, we're going to try a 5th time. Even though we should have stopped at 4 because none of them were fantastic. We've got enough of that. So this was also exciting that I saw these two people creating this world that didn't exist. And I thought, yeah, absolutely. And it also is interesting to me that it's a universal language. I mean, he was doing press in Miami, and you're speaking a lot of Spanish, and I was too. And in Spanish, we're saying, I am fluent in Castellano. And it was this thing of like, what if we did have a movie that transcended language? I haven't done anything like that. That hasn't happened since silent film comedy, right? With Harry Langdon and Harold Lloyd.
A lot of Harold Lloyd fans in the front row.
I know. I was going to say, those are two references that no one gets.
Michelle,
Tax Fifth
Tony,
Avenue.
we've talked a lot about how it all came together really quickly and how you guys are very collaborative. Talk about that process. Michelle, I know you've produced a bunch of stuff in the past. I was going to ask if it's easier to produce on an animated film. You don't have to work inside the physical realm, but it sounds like this might actually be more challenging, especially when you have these time constraints. What was that like, guys? What was that?
Yeah, it is. It's incredibly challenging because you're not in the physical realm, and everything had to be created and conceived, and a lot of it came out of his mind. And yes, there was collaboration, but then there was the idea, like, what are these worlds going to look like? And not only did we have a short time frame, every world we went into was unique and different, and how do we actualize these apps and make them metaphors for what they are and for the character's journey, and just to go back to speak to TJ, we had these round characters. We had these round characters with eyes, and how are we going to make people feel? No, it was really, really, really challenging. So,
and they looked at my body type, and they were like, "This is right on."
Typecast.
Spot on.
Like a round toddler.
And so having someone like TJ, be able to like embody the character and bring it to life was really important to us, which is why we wanted him.
Well, a lot of the fun for me watching the movie too is watching how you sort of anthropomorphize these circles.
Yeah,
like
their little
that's what
hair,
I'm talking
their
about.
expressiveness, all these different things. Yeah. It was really fun to watch and like a great part that really sucked.
But I do want to say, and you sort of tipped your hat to him, but this really came, that was the other thing, is as we discussed it for the first time, this film really came from a beautiful mind, and I mean that reference to be sort of doubled up as wordplay. But the way that you described this, how excited you were, and also this thing that I've found some allies in Hollywood that are really focused on optimism and a positivistic and you've talked a lot about understanding that everyone feels like they are the other, and that you should be able to express who you act. The best you is not the you that you're doing for society or friends or family, but the authentic you. And that both of you sort of felt strongly about the ideology of telling young women, especially in this climate and administration, you have limitless potential. Yeah. Jailbreak literally smashes through a glass ceiling in the film, and I love that. I mean, that is so right now it's got everything that you want in an animated film. It's got heart, it's really, really funny, the pacing is really great, it's fast, and it's got beautiful values, that come from a beautiful mind.
And to that end, Tony, how early on in the process did you arrive at that this was an integral part of the story, that I wanted to have this message? It wasn't just going to be the Sir Poop Trick Stewart jokes, which, albeit fantastic jokes. Yeah.
You've got some great poo-poo-doo-doo jokes.
Great poop jokes in there. But there is a lot of heart and a great story. Yeah. When did you start folding that in?
Right away. The kind of movies that I love, and I think everyone loves, Walt Disney used to say, with every laugh, there's a tear. And so the movies that I really love and connect to are about something. And there's a bigger allegory, there's a bigger something to be taken away from it. And that's what we wanted to do from the beginning. And the movie's about identity, and that, in today's world, like TJ said, the idea of other and they're different than me is not the way to be as a worldwide community. So that was very important to me.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that it's a universal language sort of speaks tacitly to all of us who agree that we should, have a global and inclusive kind of culture. And that was a big thing for me, too, is it's important to do satire. I think everybody enjoys satire. Even Deadpool is sort of a satire of the comic book hero genre. But... yeah, it's great, but we're not talking about it.
Big fans of satire in the house. Big fans of satire.
Yeah, big fans. But, there's another thing, which is these films are designed to be entertaining, to really give you a vacation from your everyday life, and also to inform the moral compass of coming generations. That's an incredibly important thing and a powerful aspect of media, but specifically animated features, which people watch over and over again. And what we're trying to do is just sort of have a sweet, nice, brilliant, funny movie that if you go into it kind of being like, let's see what this is all about, then you're going to be surprised and you'll love it. But if you go into it getting excited about like having a great time, having a great hour and how long? Hour 20, baby. We don't mess around with the hour and a half timeline. Yeah, if you want to just go in and like really have a great time, this is that movie, and it is shorter than an hour and a half. I mean, that's what we've...
Yeah, that was the original. Before An Adventure Beyond Words, it said shorter than an hour and a half.
True. And I'm sorry, I want to interrupt, as I always do, as you can see. It's difficult to be around me. I don't know how I tricked my wife into... So, it is PG, and we want to make that very clear. It is a PG film. We suggest parental guidance because, as it says right on the poster, there is some rude humor. So that's literally what it says there. It's PG because of rude humor. And I'll tell you,
basically poop jokes.
We make some pretty rude jokes in there. For instance, we talk about poop. That's it. That's the only reason.
That's the full extent, actually. That is the rudest it gets,
rude
I
humor
think.
rock.
The only, it was as rude.
There's a
It's
two.
the least rude movie of all time. It's
Jake-
actually a very polite comedy.
Jake, I want to ask you a little bit, as I was saying back in the green room, man, everybody, of course, has seen you in front of the camera before, and they're familiar with your work there. Yeah, whoop, yep, some fans. But you do a ton of voiceover work. You're on a bunch of different projects and stuff. I'm wondering, what do you bring with you into that booth? What is that different set of tools that you bring into a voiceover session than you do when you're on set in front of an audience and stuff like that? What's it like for you?
There definitely is a difference in the style. When I, first got the opportunity to read for it, I was really excited. I didn't know if I'd be reading for an emoji or if I'd be playing one of the human characters.
Were you really hoping for an emoji? Were you like fingers
It
crossed?
was, but
Oh, no,
until
Jake.
I didn't know what the story was about. And then, like TJ was reiterating, you speak, with Tony and kind of pick his brain where he kind of built this story revolving around characters that, pretty much we use for language, we use for conversations. And like TJ also said, it's universal, whether you're in Japan or whether you're in, it doesn't matter where you're from, everyone uses emojis now. So to build a story that everyone can relate to, and especially young people and kids, my character is a kid who's like, he's trying to figure out who he is. He's in high school, and a lot of kids are constantly, addicted to social media and addicted to their phones. So in a way, it's kind of refreshing to see a story about, the significance of that. And can it go too far? Sometimes should we pull back? Should we, take our eyes off of our phone and interact, with the people around us more? So I think it provokes questions, but also there's a lot of heart in it, and there's really strong values.
And one of the great things is that, Jake is in the real world, and I sort of exist in the emoji world. But I think that's a great, yeah, I mean that across the board.
Yeah, not just...
That is a general statement. But, it is, there is that message of, sometimes it's just better to talk to somebody, to interact, to be really present in that moment. Sometimes I don't take pictures and I just tell people, like, this is my moment to tell you, stop recording your life and live it at times. Just live it. And there is that message in this. But it also, by sort of creating a narrative in a world around emojis, I think we're really acknowledging how important smartphones are to our life and how indelibly connected we are, yeah, exactly, to those devices. And so it's really fun that it does have a very human element throughout. I mean, there's so many human themes, but embodied in this kind of smartphone world. I really like it. It's really, really original. That's one of my favorite things about it.
These guys, these guys were such a pleasure.
Well, yeah, that was implied. Jesus, God.
We're gonna have to go over to audience Q&A.
Yes!
So I'm gonna.
That's my favorite part!
Mine too, right? So we have some microphones in the room.
That and the jib boom shot. Constantly roving like Goreburger's genitalia.
And the film is PG. I feel responsible that I should remind you of that. The film is PG. The first question.
But AOL Build is not.
Oh, it's the Wild West out here. It's the internet.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
I love your shoes.
Oh, thank you. My question is for the actors in the film. Because you've both done TV and film, do you have a preference for which style you would prefer to do?
Oh, well, I don't have a preference at all. They're both, like I said, the styles are very different. When TV and film in live action stuff, you can rely more on your body language, your facial expressions. I mean, TJ is such a funny comedian. Sometimes you just laugh and he doesn't even say anything. This is more, animated stuff is more demanding. You're relying strictly on your voice to convey an emotion or the story you're telling. So in a sense, you have to really imagine what's going on, visualize more than standing on set, and it's built for you, and you're wearing wardrobe, and you just kind of step into the shoes of the character. This is a little bit more imaginative. It's fun.
I think, I just left a fairly successful television show, and part of that was that I feel like, thank you for applauding that decision. No,
Happy he's leaving?
But, yeah. You're like, it'll be better off. No, but it really is. Features are things, we all have a favorite movie, and we've seen that movie many, many times. And all of us have a favorite animated film, and we would be happy to watch that over and over again. And that is not the case. Everybody loves Sopranos. Everybody loved Breaking Bad. How many people in here have watched the whole series twice? Very few. Well, and those of you that have need to really focus on your social life. And no, I'm teasing. But I mean, truly, it's not as much about preference as it is. I'm trying to kind of make the most amount of people laugh and put forth the best entertainment, in this case with a lot of meaningful messages in it, and then I get to move on. I don't, hopefully this is fun and people would like to see another installment of it, but in the meantime, we've done this. This is that thing, and right now I'm working on Deadpool 2, and then, and have just finished this underwater thriller with Kristen Stewart and Vincent Cassel called Underwater, because Hollywood's run out of ideas to name things. But I think features are a lot of fun, and we hope that people like a film like this so much that they'll return to it.
I have to. We have time for 2 more questions. We're going to get to them, I promise. But I do want to commend you, TJ, because more so than most people, you are very much so committed to a significant presence on every platform that you can find.
I'm trying to see if I can oversaturate the market.
Haven't done it yet, right? So keep going.
Well, it's a fractured zeitgeist. Go ahead.
But so one, kudos to that. But also, you brought up the other things you're working on, and I just finished reading Ready Player One. So everybody, allow me to indulge. It's so good.
You guys will finish it in a couple of days. It took me 5 days. Kate finished it in 2, and hasn't let that go. But yeah, it's so good.
So you worked with Spielberg, working with Spielberg. I mean, opportunity of a lifetime. Can you speak to that at all yet?
Well, and have a movie called Ex-Criminals with DreamWorks, with Amblin, I guess now. And I mean, each experience is different. Steven Spielberg is really, really something else. You kind of immediately understand why he's a great director. But I'm going to go ahead and be very sycophantic and say that it was similar experiences, this and Ready Player One, because in each case, the director is excited and is never saying anything negative. He's never going, no, that's bad. You should, oh, that's great. And what if you did this? And could it be this? And oh, that's awesome. Perfect. Do it again, just like that. And that's the way that you get people to be comfortable enough to really deliver great performances. And so and weirdly, Ready Player One, I exist in a motion capture video game world. So they were also similar with that respect. And I applaud you for wearing shorts on a day when most people wore pants, and because you have confidence in your knees. He does. He's got good-looking knees.
He's got great knees, actually. I'm drawn to them. This is our next question right here, the man with the great knees.
Thank you for the compliment on my knees.
You're like, I woke up this morning, hoped it would happen. It did. Thank you.
Exactly. Hi, guys. So I wanted to know, what is your favorite emoji, and what is the best one to describe you?
Good question.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Okay, I'm going to pick an emoji from the movie, and I'm going to say Jailbreak.
Which is a non-existent emoji.
That's right.
So far.
So far.
Right.
Thus far.
We're going to get it. We're pushing for it. What do you think?
You want to, like, an emoji on the phone? Like what? You know what? I was making this movie in 2 years. I was the nervous face, and I would send that to Michelle constantly. But now that it's done, I'm sunglasses. I'm chill.
Yeah! I like that. Too cool. What do you think?
My favorite emoji is all 3 of the monkeys, whether surprised, because it's a whole different emotions, So I like the monkey emojis. I use those all the time.
I use pizza, punch, 100 to say thank you, yes, that's cool, awesome pizza, punch 100. But my favorite, piggybacking off of you, is when my wife sends me the monkey that's like,
yeah, I did.
Because that means that the previous text was a lot of fun.
I believe we have time for one more question. Right
Hey
here.
guys, I was just curious, since this movie was produced so fast, was it difficult to produce?
I mean, I guess a couple of times I walked in the room and was like, how's it going? And both of them were like, it's going great. Yeah. What do you think?
You know what? It was difficult. It was difficult, but a hell of a lot of fun. And it was really, thanks to the talent of these guys. And, Gene, we wrote the part thinking, if there's an emoji who has every expression, who is that? And that is TJ Miller. And so, and what people don't know is that he's so professional. The first day we met him, he came with all these notes. Do you remember that? You're like, here's what I'm thinking.
I almost died.
Oh, like, we could try this way. It was
Awesome.
so, like, he's such a professional and made it such
That's a lot of notes,
easy, he made it so easy.
That's like you being like, I saw the Emoji Movie and it was actually really good. That's basically him being like, TJ showed up and he actually is like a real
Really
actor
professional.
guy. He's a real professional. They just expected me to come in like holding pizza, but the cheese falls off of it. And I'm just drunk being like, where's ADR? What project is this for? No, absolutely. And, they let us do, my writing partner, Mr. Davis, they call him in Hollywood, but Miller Davis is he's my cousin and my writing partner, and they let us do this pass on. That's how collaborative it was. We all worked together to kind of elevate this and make it something that you will walk into it going, all right, the Emoji Movie, let's see. And then suddenly it is this beautiful, thrilling, funny, heartfelt journey.
Well,
it's an
to that
adventure
end,
beyond words.
It is an adventure through your phone.
Oh, that's what's... Guys,
Rated PG for rude.
to that end, I could do this all day. This was a ton of fun. It sounds like you had a ton of fun making this film, and I can tell you honestly, you're gonna have a ton of fun watching it, guys. Hands down. It comes out July 28th. The Emoji Movie. Make some noise, everybody. One more time, please.
Thank you.